Hey, welcome back to the Andromedoom devlogs, episode number 12. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you the Fossilators. That's the 4 dinosaur-themed player ships that are unlocked in the Asia-Pacific region. And I'll also be showing you the weapon system for the first time. Let's switch over to the screen. So you've already seen the first one. It's our standard issue. It's just a tank. It's got a bit of armor, it's a bit slow, and it's got decent firepower. So I've built these 4 ships around certain attributes. So speed, firepower, health or armor, and the last one is special abilities, or in other words, just the weapons that you can select on that ship. They'll generally be balanced along those lines. And so the standard issue leans more on the defense side. Okay, let's show you the next one. So our next ship is the Terrordactyl. Now this ship is oriented around speed, but you'll notice because it is a flying ship, you can't hide underneath the buildings with this one. It also doesn't have the same firepower, but it does fire a little more quickly. There we go. I mentioned this is of course a mobile game, so camera swipe movement works, as does joystick movement. I've tested all this on mobile, and the fire button as well. And you'll notice that the rotors spin a lot faster when the player is moving or rotating. And when the ship is hovering or idling, they spin a little slow. Okay, let's show you ship number 3. Ship number 3 is the Stegonator. Now this one is oriented around firepower. You can see why. It has the fastest fire rate, and it also spreads. But it is a fair bit slower. Not as tough as the standard issue, and you'll see that the laser aiming guide is not as long. So a lot of these things, the aliens, the ships, they still need balancing, need a bit more thought about how to set the values and the playstyles, but this is more of just a proof of concept for now. So ship number 3 is a Stegonator. Let's go on to the final one. And our final player ship is the Velocitractor. Now you'll notice here that the layout's a little different. That's because we have a weapon button. So this ship, not the toughest, doesn't have the most firepower, or is not the fastest, but it does have the added ability of weapon selection, at least the first 2 weapons that are available in the Asia Pacific region. Now the first one is the EMP shot. All it does is it freezes the alien ship for a short while. Now each weapon has a special abilities, its reload time. You'll see that the EMP shot actually slowly increases the reload time. Now if you select a combination that doesn't exist, it'll tell you that no weapon is selected. If you try and fire, nothing happens, but the lights reset, and the reload bar unwinds a lot faster, so it doesn't frustrate the player. And the second weapon is the EMP bomb. And so as you can see, it's basically an area of effect. So any aliens within the bomb's zone of influence will be hit with the EMPs. Now what you'll notice about these sparks is they're actually screen space effects, which I quite like. So if you were to hide behind a building, you can still see the sparks behind it. But it is that imperfect aesthetic that I'm going for. So I'll leave it like this for now, rather than use 3D particles for this effect. Similarly with the bomb explosion, it's a screen space effect. So it doesn't actually exist in space. Like it gives it a chaotic feel. And there we go. So let's take a look at how this weapon system actually works. So in the previous episode I showed you that the game manager keeps a list of the aliens and maps them to a pack scene. Here we've got a bunch of weapon codes, and each color is mapped to a number. So for example, in this case, the blue button is mapped to the number 1. And so if we select different weapon combinations, different colors, you will get a random string of keys with numbers 1 to however many colors there are. I think I'm aiming for 4 or 5. So numbers 1 to 5 in a string of a length of up to 5. Each one will map to a dictionary which contains information about the weapon. So its name, the effect on its reload time, and the pack scene that the player fire will have to instantiate. So these buttons are given a code value. These weapon lights are given a position. The way I've done this is when this code is passed into the player fire node, which controls what weapon is loaded, the current code is multiplied by 10. So the first number shifted gets shifted to the left, and then the next one gets added on. And so this happens until the number becomes larger than 10,000, which means that 5 lights were on previously, and then the button was pressed again. When that happens, it's reset back to 0, which then loads the default weapon, which is the cannon. And using that number, I've done this as conversion into a string, and that string gets passed on to these weapons lights. So they keep track of their position, and then they just return the character, or the numeric character at that position. Now for these lights, they only need one switched on texture, because each ship theme will have its own player controls, own style of player controls. And in the Fossilators, the Velocitractor only has a blue button, so these only need to be blue lights. But in the next batch of ships that I'm preparing, I'm going to add the yellow lights, so the complexity will ramp up a little bit there. But you know, it's manageable. Okay, that's all I had for today. Thank you for watching. Next couple of videos, I'll cover the broken glass shader and how to do 3D billboarded particle animations. Thank you for watching.